Hi everyone, welcome back. We're having a special discussion today with Medicare broker Helena Fouts and financial advisor Steve Gibbs. Our topic today is something called life settlements. Subject might be intriguing and we thought we'd bring it to you. Helena, give us a brief overview of what a life settlement is.
Sure. Do you have a life insurance policy that you don't need anymore, or are the premiums getting too expensive? Guess what? You can sell it, make some money on a lump sum. This way you're not responsible for the premiums anymore, and the third party gives you the money.
Sounds interesting. Steve, as a financial advisor, what would you say as a life settlement fits into the overall financial plan or financial strategy?
Well, the nice thing about a life settlement is life insurance is looked at as an asset. And if you have an asset, you can sell it. And there are people out there that will give you money for your existing life insurance policy, many times even if it's term insurance. I just did one last year where it was a term policy.
Cool.
And the life settlement worked out. He was able to get a decent amount of money for something that he thought he was just going to have to quit paying on and not get any money out of. So it can be a great source of assets that people really don't realize exists for them.
Okay. Helena, could you share an example of how someone on Medicare might consider using a life settlement?
Well, sure. Like, say you have been paying on this life insurance policy all this time, the premiums are getting expensive, and what you really need is some help around the house. So you can sell this policy and get the money that you need to get someone to help you out, and then you don't have the premiums anymore.
Okay, sounds good to me. Steve, what are there specific considerations or risks to your clients that need to be aware of when they're thinking about life settlements?
Yeah, it's a good point, Bob. So there are always considerations. There's pros and cons to every opportunity that exists financially. And a few things you need to think about is, if you have, say, just for example, a $500,000 death benefit, and you sell the policy, you're not going to get $500,000. You're going to get some fraction of that. And then you won't have that death benefit any longer. So what you will get is cash to use today. The other thing is like any other asset, when you go to sell it, you always get that third partner in the deal, which is the government. They're going to want their share, their fair share, right? So you're going to have to set aside money for capital gains. And then third, you can sometimes they will let you do an option where you sell a portion of the policy, get some cash, and then keep some death benefit, but not have any more premiums anymore. And it's kind of nice when you're retired if you want to cut back on your expenses, it's an expense you may not need any longer. But it's important to do an evaluation of your needs and your family's needs before you decide to sell it, to make sure it makes sense for you, and also consult your tax advisor to make sure. Because I'm not a CPA, and none of us sitting here are, or want to be, or an attorney, but want to be.
Don't even play one on TV.
Right. So, but just I've done these before, and so we can take you through it and just make sure you understand how it works, and the pros and cons. Get your advisor's input on it, and then decide what you want to do.
All right. Thanks, Steve. That's a lot of stuff to cover in a few minutes. Helena, some final thoughts?
Yeah. So walk us through what is it? All of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to talk to the Steve guy. What do you do then?
So what I do is there's actually, just like when you buy life insurance and they want to make sure how healthy you are, we're going to do the same thing, but they want to see how sick you're going to be.
How unhealthy you are.
Because they want, the people that buy this, it's kind of creepy, but they want you to have as short a life expectancy as possible.
Okay.
So if you're not at least 65 or 70 and you don't have some kind of a chronic health condition, you're probably not going to get a life settlement.
Okay.
So that's the downside is you, and here's the thing, and before you do this too, something you need to talk about is many life insurance policies have what's called an accelerated death benefit, right? So that means typically it will be something like if you have a terminal illness and have 12 months or less to live, you can access somewhere between 50 and 90% of the death benefit up front. Now here's the thing, life insurance accelerated death benefits are not taxable. But if you sell it, it is taxable. So whatever anything above and beyond what you've actually paid for the policy will be taxable as capital gains to you, right?
Makes sense.
So it's an application process at the end to sell it, just like it is to get it.
Okay. Well, we've given you a lot to think about today. I want to thank both Steve and Helena for coming in today and shedding some light on this topic. And as always, join us again next time. And if you have any questions, reach out to Steve. It says right here, the world's greatest financial advisor, and Helena, the second world's greatest Medicare broker. It says so right here.
Second.